This is part 2 of BeHope, Season of Singleness. Why am I still single? And I am so excited to do this video because I know that this is a topic that I know that I've been hearing about a lot, and I actually had a few questions from just conversations with people about knowing your worth and should I ask this guy out or should I pursue this guy or whatever the case is. And I really wanted to speak about it because I know that it's out there, and so why not address it, right? So in my last video, I spoke about how important it is to draw closer to God, how important it is to know that the love that God has for you, the love that God is giving you and can give you, cannot be matched with the love of a man. And what our desire is to be loved by a man who loves God so much that God's love is shown through him. But we don't want to ever get in this position where we're longing so much for a man and a love from a man that we're forgetting that the greatest love of all comes from God, and we have access to that 24/7. And that is so awesome. And I'm telling you, it sounds so cliche, and it's so kind of just like annoying to think like, oh my gosh, everybody says that you draw closer to God and your husband will come. Well, I've been drawn closer to God and he's still not here. Yeah, that's a thought that I think myself, so I get it. However, you can never have too much God. So keep pressing into him, and he will begin to show you things about yourself. He will begin to show you who you are through him, and that confidence will come up, and the worth will come up. When you become who God truly has made you to be, that is exactly when you're not thinking about it and when you're not looking for it, that's when he's going to come. And I can share this even not being in a situation where he is here or where I know who he is. I'm still saying that I truly believe, I do have faith in God, that God has someone out there for me, and that when I continue to press into God and focus on him, he will come and he will interrupt me. And speaking of interrupting me, I want to share that I did have a conversation with a few ladies at some point recently, and it was some situations going on, and I was actually asked, would I ever pursue a man, or would I ever make myself known to a man that I found attractive or whatever, because she was kind of in a similar situation. My answer is absolutely not. And I say that because knowing my worth means knowing that I am worth the pursuit. I don't ever want to put myself in a position to where I'm wondering or thinking about a man. That is not my job. It's okay if you have like a crush or something, or you find somebody attractive. I think that's okay. That's fine. Like, that's normal. But actually going after a man, that is the man's job. The Bible says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. The Bible does not say anything about a woman going and pursuing a man. So I just want to make that clear. You are worth the pursuit. I have a desire that I want a man to pursue me. And I'm not going to change that desire based off circumstances. Because I believe that the Lord has somebody for me, and he knows my heart and he knows my desires, I just trust in him that he is going to, whatever he has to do, he's going to make that come to pass. I do not believe that the woman should be chasing a man. I do not believe that. I do believe that if a man finds a woman attractive, if a man desires that woman, he'll come to her. That's the man's job. I've been in so many situations, and I've heard of situations to where, the woman gets her feelings hurt. I do believe that, especially when you're talking about your man of God, I do believe that that's a conversation between that man and God. Your only job is to serve the Lord. Serve him. Let him come to you. I'm telling you, because in those moments while we're thinking about situations and wondering this and wondering that, we could be spending more time with God, and we could be allowing him to change us and mold us and build us up. Yet we're sitting here thinking about a man who's probably not even thinking about us. We can't do that. So I've always been very strong about that. Even when I wasn't living my life for Christ or serving the way I am now, I still was never the type to go after anybody. I just never felt that that was something that I'm supposed to do. And I find it very hard to think about or invest my mind or my heart in anybody who is not pursuing me. So I would just say it's no shame if you've done that before, but I will say that I do believe that you are beautiful, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you are worth the pursuit, the wonder, the question. You are worth that. So just stay strong in who you are, stay serving God and who God has for you. will come. And sometimes I will share too that I've had a lot of people say things to me. And one of the biggest things that some people have said to me is, Asia, if you know me, you know that I have a huge personality. I'm like, hey girl, what's up? And I'm like, I'm all in it. I'm very, very passionate about everything that I do. I'm expressive, I'm fearless, I'm all these things. And I've actually had someone tell me that I needed to calm down because who God had for me probably would be intimidated by me, because most people are, and that he probably would not feel like I can be approached. And that, it kind of shocked me, and it kind of threw me off, and it made me feel very insecure. So I tried to change myself. I tried to stop talking at certain points. I would walk in the room and I would just be quiet. I wasn't expressive anymore. My friends, I would say, hey, was that okay what I said? Or is this okay what I did? Or something like that. And I was doing it in my own will, trying to change who I was. God made you how you were, and you don't have to change your personality. Yes, we can have character flaws, but our personality is exactly who God has created us to be. And we don't need to change that for anybody. And if you can't hang, then you're just not supposed to be with me. So what I had to do, instead of trying to change things in my own will, I did acknowledge the fact that there are some things about me that I would have to allow God to mold, to adjust. And so with that being said, I don't want to be too much. I don't want to be something like, oh, Asia is not approachable. Asia can't be talked to. I don't want to come off that way. But I did ask the Lord, like, Lord, you made me. You made me. So instead of me thinking and taking the advice from someone who did not make me, who did not create me, who barely knows me, I'm going to go to the Creator. And I'm going to say, Lord, is there a problem with how I am and with who you have for me? Is this the way I'm supposed to be? Is there an issue? And so the Lord started to show me, and with God, I started spending more time with him. And what happens is, naturally, things will start to adjust and change, and you'll realize, I don't think the same about that anymore. Or I do feel that way, but I don't feel like it's necessary to say it. My only job is to serve God. And so as I spent time with him daily, I was in his face. I still am daily. Like, Lord, help me, because I want to prepare myself for who you have for me. God started to show me that, Asia, I made you just the way you are on purpose. You were made that way on purpose. That passion, that love that you have, that ride or die-ness that you have, that realness or that loyalty that you have. Use that for me. Use that for the kingdom. And who he has for me is going to value all of those things about me, and he won't be afraid of it. God will give him exactly what he needs to be able to come forth whenever the time is right, whenever and whoever. And so I would share that to say that I now don't have those insecurities. And anyone who disagrees, or anyone who feels like things are different, or whatever you feel, like I said in my last video, please feel free to pray for me if you feel it's necessary. However, I no longer welcome those kind of comments, those kind of advice, or those kind of revelations into my life, because you didn't create me. I know the Lord, and I have a relationship with him. So if there's an issue within myself, I expect that the Lord will show me in his way, in a way that I'll be able to receive it, so that it doesn't hurt me or hinder me, but it will grow me and mold me. If there is a situation to where he wants to approach you and maybe doesn't know how, or whatever the case is, the Lord will show him, because he has a relationship with God as well. So just as we're preparing ourselves, our prayer is that he's preparing himself as well. And because you know your worth at this point, you're not going to accept anything less. So don't ever change yourself don't ever change yourself to fit someone else's personality, or to change who you are. Also keep in mind that you really do need to watch what you let people say to you. Don't just let anybody say anything to you about anything. Sometimes it's okay to say, I just think it's best that we don't talk about it right now. And sometimes it's okay to say, you know what, I appreciate you coming to me. However, if you really feel that way, maybe it's best that you talk to the Lord about it. I think I'm okay. It's okay to say those things to people, because you have to watch what you allow to go in your ears and what you receive, because then you're going to go home worrying and concerned and all of that. But when you know you have a relationship with God, it's okay. It's okay to say, I'm good. I don't need to talk about it. That's fine. Because sometimes people have good intentions and sometimes they don't. So watch what you let people say, and if there's an issue within yourself, allow God to show you that. And when people say stuff to you, put it on the show. I think your boldness in God is beautiful and wonderful, and I think that your husband is going to love that very part of you. And I think your meekness, and when you're meek, I think that's beautiful and wonderful, and your husband will come with that boldness, and together you guys would be a perfect match. I think that if you're funny, I think that if you're a jokester, whatever it is, God will bring that person for you, period. And the great thing about it is we don't need 100 people to like us. We don't need 100 people to say, oh, I love that quality about her. We just need one, you know? So it's okay. So I would just say, walk boldly in who you are, and really remember that all those qualities about you, the realness, the loyalty, the meekness, the boldness, all those things about you were made by God, for God. So don't change who you are. Don't even trust yourself. Sometimes you have to shut the conversation off within your own mind. You know, we tell people I can't talk about it, but sometimes you have to tell yourself, like, I need you to calm down and seek the Lord about that, because you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you are made in His image. So before you try to change who God created you to be, I would check with God first. Because the one thing about it to remember about a relationship is that if He's trying to change you in any way, your personality, He's just not the one for you. And I would run. And I would run quickly too. Far away from Him, and draw closer to God, and allow the Lord to show me who I am in His eyes. And I would trust God that who He has for me, that He made me like this on purpose. I was made on purpose. Therefore, who God has for me was made purposely for me, and I was made purposely for Him. And together, we were purposely brought together to serve the kingdom of God. So keep that in mind as you're out there and people are approaching you, or people are coming towards you, or you're becoming interested in people. Think about that. Like, is my personality, does it even flow with who he is? Because it doesn't have to be the same personality. It's actually really nice when it's like opposites attract kind of thing. But whatever the Lord allows, just make sure you lean on Him, rely on Him, and He'll show you the way. Today, my hope is to be hope for all those who could be struggling with knowing your worth, with maybe wondering or questioning, like, should I approach a man or should I go to a man? I'm not that confident. People say I could have to change myself to be attractive or whatever it is. And I say, sis, you are beautiful just the way you are. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You don't have to do a thing. You don't have to change a thing. Your job is to serve God. No, you should not approach that man. He needs to come to you because you're worth that. And no, you are not messed up. You're not wrong. You are not a mess. You are none of those things. You are perfect in God's eyes, but you are human. So there are things about us that we have to adjust and mold and change. But don't worry about it. Your job is to draw closer to God and let Him do the adjusting. He created you anyway. So if there's something going on, He will know exactly what to do. So be hope, be encouraged, stay tuned, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.